Hey, Keith, did you notice that Mark was trending on Twitter this morning?
Oh, I am?
I think that's what happens when you're Mark Cuban and word gets out that you've endorsed a presidential candidate. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where you really see those drunk people on Twitter, huh?
Amen to that.
Surely you don't look at your mentions, right?
Oh, I do. It's fun. I tweeted this morning, to ask if anybody had a Twitter cloud for mentions because I needed to know if I was a communist, a socialist, or a capitalist, because I wasn't sure based off of all my mentions. Everybody thought now because I said something positive about Joe Biden instead of President Trump on Fox that I obviously had to be a communist or socialist.
Okay, let me ask you this more seriously. Did you seriously consider running for president?
Yes. Yep. And my family said no. I have 3 kids, my wife, and it was a 4-1 vote against. Why?
Yeah.
Because I think we're missing leadership. I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't have any allegiance to anybody or anything other than the American people. And that's not the case right now in politics. It's about which party and being partisan and being extreme. And that's just not me. And I don't think that's really the core of the American people, especially right now. We don't, we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're dealing with it like it's a partisan issue. Should you wear a mask or not wear a mask? We don't know, as we said earlier, who to trust. There's nobody, at least at the beginning, there were press briefings where you had doctors out there talking about things that hopefully we can learn from. There's none of that even. I mean, it's crazy. And, when you have a dearth of leadership, you get people who extend to the extremes, and that was why.
If Joe Biden came to you and asked you to be his running mate, would you conduct another vote of your family?
No, I'm not going to be the right guy for him. And I'll say this, and this will piss off the Democrats, but literally, I think we need balance in the country. And depending on what happens with their platform once Joe is nominated and they start the real campaign, it's not inconceivable that I'd vote for Biden for president and a Republican straight ticket down just so that we have balance.
Is there, like for me, I've been enamored during this process with Governor Cuomo. A lot of people are learning about Governor Cuomo through this process. He's had a lot of FaceTime and people weren't familiar with him. They knew his name, but that's it. Is there someone that you say, I want that guy representing this country. I want that young lady representing this country. Is there someone who you would handpick?
That's a good question. Right now it's Joe Biden. I mean, you could woulda, coulda, shoulda on a lot of people, but it's hard to know because you really don't know where they stand on things. Governor Cuomo obviously got a lot of visibility and continues to get visibility, but we've only really seen him talk about one topic, and I really don't know anything more about him. And, with Joe, that we have a sense of the type of person he is. And right now, that is the most important element. We have no compassion from the top. We've got that with Joe. We have no humility from the top. We've got that with Joe. And we can argue about platforms and different things. And, it's a concern with me, how far left do the Democrats go? That's a real concern to me. But we'll start to see those things, as we go forward, where there's 133 days or whatever left until the election. All these things will start to become evident to everybody. And then, we'll be able to start really looking at, who the downstream candidates are. But no, to answer your question, Keith, there's nobody that I just think, oh my God, why didn't this person run?
And finally, Mark, if 4 years from now, when your kids are aged, 14, 17, and 20, might they have a different vote if you go to them and ask if they'll let you run for president?
Yeah, they might. I mean, let's just hope that, we have a new president and things are a lot better, because I'd much rather just go to Mavs game, never talk politics at all, ever, and just continue to be a good dad and run the Mavs.